All right, good morning, eighth grade. Today we're gonna kind of work as if this was a video reference. The sheet that I have in front of me about snowfall in Michigan, even though it's raining here in Seekonk. But basically, I was just looking for some data that we could just practice using Desmos and or you could just do it all by hand. But I feel like at this point, we might as well just graph using Desmos, and I can teach you how to do that and make predictions. And I just want to focus on using scatter plots and lines of best fit to make predictions. So I'm going to do this example with you. You can just watch this today on your rainy Thursday. If you have access to a printer and you want to print this out and go along with it, that's cool. If you just want to watch it and then like maybe copy down when I start doing the actual math and practice, or even better yet, practice what I'm about to do on Desmos, that would be a good way to go about this video too. So it says here, the table below shows the snowfall records measured in inches near an airport in Michigan somewhere over 14 years. Okay. So basically, it goes, here's data. So the first thing we're going to do, looks like, just kind of give you overall, is we're going to graph the data. We're going to see what patterns does the data seem to follow. Is there a correlation, positive or negative, or why? Then we'll do the equation for the line of best fit, but we'll use Desmos. And then at the bottom, I'll have us start making predictions. And I also want to go not only with the X values, so the years, but maybe we can try to plug in a Y value and like a random amount of snow based on our data. What year would that be? That much snow would come down, or that little snow. So that brings me a good point. So years is your X value. Snowfall is your Y value. Okay. So remember, when we write our line of best fit, we're a linear line of best fit. It's Y equals MX plus B. So what does this mean? The snowfall is equal to the slope times the year plus the starting point. Okay, so I'm bringing you over to Desmos, and I did this. We've been doing this in compacted math with distance learning and graphing on Desmos. So it's a pretty cool thing here that you can do. If you go to Desmos, right, you can put this data right into your table. So we've been doing like from here, copying and pasting our age, which you're going to do today, just because it's a quick activity that I wanted you to look at your age versus your overall grade for the 4 classes that you guys gave me. But before, we were just copying and pasting, and it would make a table for us. But you can manually enter a table by clicking this plus sign and go to table. So now, instead of doing it by hand, and if you want to do it by hand, you can, but then you have to really, math becomes gray, because like what I mean by gray, it becomes, there's no real, everyone's going to get something different, meaning like your line of best fit might be different than someone else's line of best fit. But in Desmos, it gives you the exact line of best fit mathematically using like computer generated software that is kind of like universal. So anyways, I'm going to put in the data here. So I'm just kind of like looking at my paper here as I plug these in. So I'm just going to put all the X's, 2013, 2012. So just bear with me here. And if you want to have your Desmos open during this too, and try to put in the data as well, 2009, 2008, sorry. 2005, 2004, 2003, 2002, and 2002, 2001, and 2000. Let's go in order, right? Yeah, 13 all the way down to, no, it wants us to put 1999, but I'm not. So now I'm going to put snowfall in. So again, if you want to try this on your Desmos as I'm typing these in, you can. It would be good practice. And hit that plus sign to get that to work. 225.75. don't make any mistakes. If I was doing this in class, you guys would tell me if I entered something wrong, but we're not here together, which is frustrating. 150.5, 2000, 217. I was thinking as I entered this data here for tomorrow's Google Hangout, I'd mentioned to some of the people it's going to be Flashback Friday, and people could flash a picture on their screen and show the class of a picture when they were much younger, whether you were like 6 years old or in sixth grade with a bunch of friends. So I was thinking maybe we could, if some people want to email that to me, I could show it through like a Google Slides if you want to do it that way. So I don't want to get confused here. 164.71. I'm doing all right here. 232. Again, I didn't want to have this typed out ahead of time because I wanted to show you how you could put this into Desmos here. 254 303.6. Okay. Now if I go to my graph, well, I don't see the dots. I wonder why. Let me zoom. Well, it's because it's in the hundreds here. Let me see if I type in the line of best fit, if it will, because before it was like just putting it in, no problem. It was showing me the dots right away, but now it doesn't look like it's doing that. So let me put the line of best fit, see what happens. Y1, squig line, MX1, okay, plus B. Okay, so let's see, still don't see it. I'm gonna have to zoom out. Oh, let's go. I guess I gotta move all the way over to the 2000s, right? Oh, there we are. There's the data. Okay, so I thought it would just, it's not like before where it just like automatically went to that part of the graph. But interesting. And you can zoom in on the data here, like that. Interesting. Okay, so there's our data. All right. Interesting. So that's kind of what you would do for part one. And now so I'm going to be scrolling back and forth between this and my paper. So now that we have it graphed and I have a line of best fit, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to start answering some questions. So let's see here. The first question is, what is the pattern the data seems to follow? Well, the line's looking like that. So I would say um, uh, as years go on, less snow, right? That's what I would say. And so, what is the correlation? I would say it's a negative correlation, right? I think that's true for us here in Seekonk in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Especially last year, we got like no snow, or this year, and the year before. So I think if we did this data for Massachusetts, maybe you would see the same trend, and we could be doing that sometime soon too. What is the equation for line of best fit? Okay, so now I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to use this equation here. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type, like I did yesterday, I think it's easier to type it right from here because the numbers are right there and it can go right in your graph. So y equals my equation, my slope, m. Remember, y is the amount of snowfall. So I'm gonna round it to a nice, easy number to work with, negative 6.2. Okay, plus, oh, then I can put x, and then plus, I'm just going to round this to an even number here, 12,721. Okay, yeah, I think that's the starting point because like zero would be like how much it would be. I don't even know how that would be at like year zero. It would start at like got like that's not even that doesn't even make sense because like year zero would be like the birth of Christ. I don't know how years work 100%, but that would be a very long time ago, and that would be a ton of snow. So that's why that number seems so weird. Okay, so let me write that equation down on my paper here. So I have it: y equals negative 6.2x plus 12,721. That's crazy. All right, so now let's go back to my paper and let's start doing the math now that we get the equation, and we can do some predictions, okay? So hopefully this all makes sense. And this is the part I felt like the last week or two that people were struggling with when I saw their answers on Google Forms was making accurate predictions or using this equation to make a prediction. So again, years is our x value. So x equals 2014. What's the prediction? And this says expect this winter. So this was made in the year 2014. So you're going to write y equals negative 6.2 times 2014 plus 12,721. Okay, so now I'm going to do that in my calculator. See if I can show it here. Maybe you can see it. I go here, so I'm going to go negative 6.2 times 2014 plus, so then I get that answer. Then I would do that plus 12721. All right, so there's my prediction. If you can see that, 234.2, 234.2 inches. Okay, so that's my prediction for 2014. Let's just go even farther for not even next winter. Let's go for like our next winter. So our next winter, let's change this to x equals 2021, right? Technically, like we just passed the 2021 winter. We just passed the 1920 winter. Let's just say this is the 2021 winter. Okay, so now with this one, I would write y equals negative 6.2 times 2021 plus 12721. Okay, so now when I do that on my calculator here, I'm gonna show it to you here. I'm gonna just type it in so you can see it. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll try it. So negative 6.2. Negative 6.22 times 2021, and then enter, and then plus 12,721. That's 101. That's a 1, I think. Yeah, because it's about 100 different. So I think that's a 1. My thing just got messed up there. Pixels. So that would equal 190.8 inches. Okay. Do you think those are reasonable? Why or why not? I don't know if I know the answer to that. I don't live in Michigan. I don't know if that is like very unreasonable. I'm sure they get more snow than we do. But yeah, so that's kind of the predictions I would make with that. And it's kind of cool. Like if you went to Desmos, right, and we wanted to go to, I don't know if it's going to allow us to, oops, sorry, I just zoomed out the wrong spot. So that red line was the one we put. Yeah, how come it's so much? Oh, maybe because we're zoomed in. I don't know. So yeah, like you could go. See if this is my trend line. So if I go here, that's like way into the future. 2021. According to this, it's right about there. It has 116. I feel like I did something wrong. Maybe my rounding messed it up that much. Maybe I shouldn't have rounded that much. Negative 6.2x plus 12,721. I don't know. I'm going to go with it. Okay. I'm going to go with it. And then, anyways, the other thing I wanted to be able to make a prediction was doing your, what if someone gave you the amount of snowfall? Like, for example, what if I wanted what year I would get, let's do 200 inches of snowfall, right? So I'm just going to turn this over the back. And the question is that I'm going to pose to you guys, when would you expect 200 inches? All right. So again, using my equation, y equals negative 6.2 plus 12,721. 12,721. Okay, so now they're giving you the y value. So now I want to put in, so they're telling me y equals 200. So now instead of putting it there for x, I'm going to put it over here. So we definitely, this is brand new. I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to write 200 equals negative 6.2x plus 12,721. Okay. So now I need to solve for x. So I'm literally going to do what I used to do when I solved equations. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to minus 12,721 on both sides. 12,721 on both sides. And I'm going to get really negative number 200 minus 12,721. And I get negative 12521 equals negative 6.2x. And then the last step, just like we've always done since November and October, divide each side by negative 6.2, divide by negative 6.2, and I get, oh, that's so crazy. It was like, it was negative, it said 2019.5. So the year 2019.5. So like that would be yeah, that would be like half of 2019. So that would be 6. Half of 12 is 6. So that would have been June 2016. I mean 2019, which doesn't make sense because it doesn't snow in June. But according to the data, that's when you would expect to get that amount of snow. Somewhere in 2019, you would get 200 inches of snow. So again, I hope this reference video helps you. I think you're going to be working on data based on hamburgers, not hamburgers, like drive-through. And I think it's looking at fat and calories or something like that. You're going to make some predictions off of that. So again, it's Thursday, it's rainy. First thing you got to do is just chill and watch this video and try to understand it and follow along. And then you get to practice and fill out your Google forms. So if there's any questions along the way, please send me an email.